Kenny's in trouble. He's going to run. He's going to get the first down.
Don't sleep on those legs. Oh, he faked the slide. Sauce time.
The Pitt Panthers have pulled a stunning upset over the West Virginia Mountaineers.
And Johnny Majors gets a ride across the field.
Victory scream.
Leave that in. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Simple 5 Podcast. I'm your host, Zack. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Mason Kling, Kent Vanderwood. We are watching NFL Red Zone.
The witching hour.
The witching hour is on. Boys, we're back in the win column.
Yeah, as we needed to be. Wasn't the prettiest thing at some points, but a win's a win, and we covered too. So
Izzy Six the Hizzy, baby.
Yeah. So the final score this weekend was 45-29 over Virginia Tech at home. If you're sort of like an outside observer and you didn't watch this game, you would have thought that Pitt fixed the offense. Mm-hmm. No, they didn't. I mean, first off, let's give credit where it's due. Izzy Abanikanda was phenomenal this game. Just an inhuman level of performance. 6 touchdowns on the ground, 320 yards on 36 carries. I mean, just a machine. Yeah. Just a machine. I mean, he couldn't be stopped. It's what? He ties a over 100-year-old record for the most rushing touchdowns in a Pitt game. It was stood since 1910. Most rushing yards by an ACC player ever. All-time Pitt rushing record beating who did he beat for that record again? It was
Tony Dorsett.
Yeah, he beat Dorsett for it.
In 75, I think it was.
Yeah. 75 or 76. Had to be one of those two. So, I guess before we even start talking about the game, is Izzy Abanikanda on Doak Walker watch?
Oh, absolutely, for Doak Walker. I think that he should be on Heisman watch, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, if we had beaten Georgia Tech, he might be.
Yeah.
But
if he doesn't get hurt in that game too, I
yeah,
feel like that's what. As soon as he went out, that's kind of where things went to shit in that game, and this just showed how important he was to the offense again this week.
Yeah, for real.
But he leads or is in top 2 or 3 in pretty much every major stat in terms of rushing yards, touchdowns by in all of FBS. So he's very much. That game put him on the map for sure for a lot of bigger awards.
I believe he's first in all-purpose yards, rushing touchdowns. He has I think he has 12 now, or maybe 13. Something
That's
like
ridiculous.
That.
Yeah,
he is the most points scored. He's scored 78 points by himself this year.
Wow.
Yeah, because he has one receiving touchdown as well. So, and by the way,
he's a big one.
He's the first Power 5 player to top 300 yards and 6 rushing touchdowns since Ricky Williams did it in 1998.
Damn.
Yeah.
You would have thought, I don't know, all those guys at Wisconsin that they always had, or somebody since then would have done that. But that's all. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Just awesome.
Yeah, if Izzy can do that every game, we'll be pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so let's get into what he did, because unfortunately what he did was not at any point helped by Kedon Slovis or Frank Cignetti. The game starts out with a couple punts, and on Pitt's second drive, Izzy hits a 38-yard touchdown run after a defensive holding call. So, first off, throughout this whole game, I thought Kedon Slovis looked pretty much horrible. He had guys who were open. He was hitting some guys. I mean, he finished with a mediocre stat line. He finishes 15 for 28, 170, and 1 touchdown. He had the 1 touchdown pass to who?
I don't think he had one.
Why do they have him listed as a touchdown?
He had an interception.
That's an interception. Sorry, misread that. Yeah. So actually, he did not play good. I was misremembering that. But essentially, Pitt goes down, scores a touchdown. And the thing is, on these plays, these are the only good plays that Pitt has. It's just every once in a while they get something blocked up, and Izzy just takes to the house. That's pretty much it. Yeah,
Frank Cignetti saved his job today, and the offense wasn't even that good.
I think he took some heat off himself. I still think that he has to go at the end of the season. He's just so wickedly underperformed in play calling. I mean,
yeah,
it's
the 6 touchdowns that Izzy scored and the 300 yards that he got was awesome, but
Everything else sucked.
Yeah, we were just absolutely feeding him the ball, and then so we would have those drives where we'd go run up the middle for 4 yards, and have Keaton throw an incompletion, and that was it. That's what we need to fix in the offense. It's really cool. It's really cool that Izzy lit up the scoreboard, but I would also like to not just have all of these drives stall out.
Yeah.
I think that's the most damning thing is that we scored 45 points, and maybe half of our drives just stalled out. And it's just maddening to watch because that they can do better. Keaton can make these throws.
Yeah.
Especially he had some time to throw today.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. He I was gonna say there was a few plays even in a row on one drive where he had all day back there and he ended up checking it down. I don't know. The announcers were saying people were open down the field, and they were but as a viewer on TV, you can't see that. So
they did a replay of one of them. I think you're talking about back in the second half, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So Jared Wayne, when Keaton is looking at him and he becomes open in the middle of the field, he's between the two safeties, and he doesn't throw. He throws a check down the sideline to Bradley, I think, but. Kanaan Rumfield wasn't playing. Jalen Barton wasn't playing. But Jalen Bradley looked good. Bub Means still fully out on him, even though he had 2 good plays.
Yeah. I feel like Keaton has the tools to be good. It just seems like he's not seeing guys.
Well, it's also tough to get in a rhythm when you throw the ball 10 times a game.
Yeah.
He threw it 28 times. It's not like he's it's not like he's
sneaky. But that was they started picking I feel like they started picking that up more.
I mean, yes, especially after that first drive where we went from our own 5, run, and nearly got a safety. Mm-hmm. That was, the play calling is just atrocious. I think that if there is still no rhythm out of the bye week against a Louisville team that is reeling, you have to look at making a change after the season.
Well, that's the thing. We at least do have, the second half was far better than the first. We need to keep that momentum going. We can't do the whole... Louisville, yes, they're struggling a little bit right now, but they're not going to be a team where we can wait until the second half
to not at all.
Start putting stuff up like we did this week.
Yeah. So let's go through the rest of the first half. Virginia Tech scores on the next drive. That was I forget how that. Either way, they score a touchdown, missed the extra point. V-Tech then scores a field goal after a Pitt punt, and then right after that, Keaton Slovis gets picked off 2 plays into the next drive. And this is where the game could have gone horribly.
Yeah.
Because it was a bad pass. It was high. Got tipped off of Jalen Bradley's hands. V-Tech scores a touchdown 2 plays later. And then, coming to save the day, it's fucking superhero Izzy Abanikanda with his second touchdown run. Now, his second run... I don't know if you remember this, but there were guys in the... This was the one where he was swallowed up in the backfield and just shoots out.
This was nuts, yeah.
This was an insane play, and this is where I get my feeling that no one's doing him any help. That should have been a 3-yard loss that he turned into a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was one guy in particular on Tech that seemed like he had him wrapped up, and then I don't know if it was just Izzy overpowering him or if he just lost his grip or what, but then Izzy just shoots out. And just, it looked like it was completely swallowed up, and all of a sudden he just shoots out and scores. So, unreal effort by him the entire game. Even late in the game when they're up and he only gets a few yards, he's giving it his all on every single time. Yep. Every single carry, every single time he touches the ball. So,
and Rodney Hammond warmed up pregame for this game, so hopefully we'll be getting him back. At Louisville, try and spell Izzy a little bit because you can keep him fresh.
Yeah.
And Rodney,
that's the thing. We can't. As many carries as he's getting, you can only do that for so long. Yeah. We gotta have. You can still let him eat, but you gotta have a couple.
We gotta have Rodney back. So I don't know if anyone else actually carried in this game.
Yeah, supposedly Rodney was only coming in if he absolutely had to, emergency type back situation. But with Izzy just going off, I was toward the end of the game. I was like, dude, just I don't know, be careful with him.
Yeah.
he once he cramped up, they were like, all right, you're done.
Yeah. Which it was good. He had the record by that point because they probably would have tried to keep him in there even if
that was the run that broke it. I think.
A long touchdown?
No, it was a 20-yard run, his last carry.
Oh, it was right after the touchdown.
It broke the yards record.
Right, because he was at 290 something after that touchdown.
298 or maybe he might have had like 302 and he got like an 18-yard run. I can't remember.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. By the way, he carried 36 times. The rest of our running backs carried 5. So that's why we need Vincent Davis back.
But also his stat line, in perspective, like think about how many runs that he got like 0 or like -2. Yeah. And he still ended up with 36 carries for 320 yards.
Yeah,
like,
he still averaged 8.
Like our first drive of the game,
almost 9. Yeah,
our first drive of the game, he literally got 3 carries from our own 5
for
and
-4 yards.
And he still ended up with 36 carries for 320 yards. Like that's absurd.
It is a numbers game. Like to get those breaks where you're going to score a touchdown, you have to have a couple duds. But we still need to work on. We still need to work
on having that many duds.
Yeah.
Either way, Pitt gets a field goal before the half, and then picks off Grant Wells on a Hail Mary to end the half. They go up into the half, 17-16, leading a Tech school at home up 1 point on ACC Network. Where have I seen this one before?
Yeah.
Thankfully, Pitt comes out in the second half. First drive goes nowhere. Defense shows up on Tech's first drive, and then the Izzy show really starts. On Pitt's second drive of the second half, Izzy gets his 29-yard touchdown run. This was, they got great field position. They started near midfield, and Izzy just ran the ball down their throats. After another Virginia Tech punt, Izzy got the shortest touchdown of the day, a 5-yard touchdown. That was off a drive where he had another 11-yard carry, but Keaton had a couple of long passes, a 14-yarder to Carter Johnson, and a 17-yarder to Gavin Bartholomew.
Yeah, Matt, we have a pretty good tight end. We should probably throw to him sometimes.
Well, it was like they hadn't thrown to him at all, and then there was like 3 plays in a row. They were like just forcing him the ball. Like he got like a good gain, like the first play or two, and then like they just forced it to him again. They're like, oh, we got to get him involved. Like we're just gonna literally throw it to him every time, and then they just went away from him again. So it's like I think they realized like, oh, we got to get him the ball, and then they like do it, and then they just forget about him again. So
yeah, like once again, Frank Cignetti just not calling a good offense, not calling a consistent offense, not calling an offense that makes sense. Okay, so after that touchdown run, so that's Izzy's 4th of the day, we're up 31-16. Then it could have gone really bad here. Pitt turns the ball over on downs at the Virginia Tech 35 after a very, very... This incompletion, was this the deep ball on 4th down, or... I don't remember.
Fact check.
It doesn't
when we turn it over on downs.
Yeah, in the second half.
Yes, because we on 3rd and 2 we give the ball to Vincent Davis.
Oh, and he loses
a yard. We go for it on 4th down, and it was we needed 3 yards. They threw it about 20 downfield.
Yeah, that's just bad decision making by Keaton Slovis, because I'm pretty sure he had someone open. Under, really, it was just.
But like, you don't even have to do that 4th down if you don't give Vincent the Davis the ball on
the Davis.
He doesn't deserve that title, but yeah, that was again like got to avoid those drives.
Yeah, because you're in Virginia Tech territory now. You're still up 15 points at this point. Mm-hmm. Then it could have really gone off the rails here, because this is where Virginia Tech responds with a long touchdown. And then they block Pitt's punt to open the 4th quarter for a touchdown. So now it's 31-29. Another blocked punt. This has got to be something that's got to be worked on in practice. This is the second block of the year. Not good. Something has to speed up with the punter, because it's just there always happens to be one guy who's unblocked off the edge. He gets in there and blocks it.
Well, the second one wasn't a timing thing. It was the snap went over his head. He dropped the snap.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He tried to kick it.
Yeah.
So that's just special team stuff that
it's just got to be better. It's just got to be better. Okay, so now the momentum here is in Virginia Tech's favor after Pitt punts on his next drive, but the big play of the day. It's not any of Izzy's touchdowns, not any of these 6 touchdowns. It is the John Morgan forced fumble. They drop John Morgan into coverage on on 3rd and 5, and he lights up Caleb Smith, their best receiver on the day. He lights him up, knocks him out of the game. He forced the fumble, which Shane Simon recovers. And this turnover basically sealed the deal for Virginia Tech. Because after this, Izzy runs the ball all 49 yards down into the end zone, basically. He has a big run on first down. He runs it for a 10-yard touchdown. Virginia Tech then misses a field goal. And then Izzy, on the first play, he has an 80-yard touchdown. And Pitt goes up 45-29, and that is the rest of the game. After he gets the record, he heads off the sideline, and that's all she wrote. So here's my question for you guys, because we know Izzy is great. We want to get Rodney back. I think everyone knows that. Are we thinking about putting Keaton down the depth chart if he continues to just not see open guys like this?
Not yet.
I was going to say not yet. Yeah,
Not
for
yet.
sure.
I think that a lot of it still comes from the scheme stuff. Sure, he might have missed a couple open guys, but like I said, it's tough to really get into the rhythm when the play calling just isn't there.
I do agree that's not on hm as much.
I don't necessarily think Patty gives us better.
I was actually going to say Yarnell.
I was going to
Patty.
say, I saw some people calling for Yarnell. I know, Zach, you tweeted once or twice about that too, but you can't.
It was in a fit of rage.
Yeah, no, you go to Patty before Yarnell for sure. I think, but at the same time, it's not time for that change yet.
I don't. Nah.
No, give Keaton some more time. I think, like I said earlier, I think Keaton really has the tools and the appearance that he can be good. I don't know if it's like Cignetti's offense, but it has seemed. I also feel like he wasn't missing open guys like earlier in the season. It's been like literally. It's
been the last 2 weeks.
It's been the last 2 weeks. So I don't know if he just I don't know. We'll see. We have a bye week. We can kind of hopefully give him a little time to see if that helps, and then coming off a bye, if this offense still looks so bad and he's still missing open guys, maybe then we can start to have the conversation a little bit more. Louisville's not good.
We'll get to that in a little bit, but yeah, I think my thing about the offense is I think it was me and Mason are talking about this on Saturday, is that it just seems like, I don't know what it is, but there's some sort of tell for what we're doing, because it always seems like the defense has everything schemed up correctly. There's some tell where there's 9 in the box when running, or they are sticking like glue to the receivers on a pass play. Like, it is not very often that there is a Pitt receiver that has like more than a yard or two of separation down the field. And I'm just like, I don't know what it is, but there has to be some sort of tell as to what we're doing. Maybe they're not running a lot of passing concepts. I mean, they're not running like unique passing concepts. Like,
who? Frank Cignetti? Not a unique passing concept? That couldn't be it.
maybe we're just spoiled by Mark Whipple of all people.
It's wild, dude. Also, all the screens, bro. It's the same thing. The man goes in motion and you throw the screen to him. It's basically a run. It's kind of like Whipple from a few years ago, honestly. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, dude. I
need to get everybody more involved in the passing game, or some different schemes to get more. I feel like we still didn't do like a lot of play action stuff. Like it was pretty just bland. Like they would go into shotgun and just throw it when they were. So like I don't know, if you're gonna run the ball like that, make some more use out of the play action.
You really have to. I mean, Gavin Bartholomew's a known quantity. Carter Johnson has kind of shown some flashes. Jalen Bradley a little speedy guy. Isaac Kanata was out, but Jared Wayne is like a really, really good receiver. He makes incredible catches. He gets himself open. He has great body control. Like, you have to get him involved. I mean, obviously, like he's just like fixated on the run game. It's like if you pass the ball more, the runs will open. I mean, imagine if Izzy isn't getting stuffed up like on half of his carries. Imagine he's getting like 10 yards a carry actually. Like, that would be a devastating run attack.
Yeah.
It's just disappointing to know, like, this is what we have to deal with as far as the offense, because it could be so much better if someone with a fucking brain was calling it.
Yeah, I'm all for feeding the hot hand. And yesterday, like when it got to a certain point, you're like, okay, just keep giving Izzy the ball. But at the same time, like earlier in the game, yeah, you have a running back. You ran for 320 yards. How many play action plays do you think we actually ran? Like
I don't know. Not many.
The other thing is too, like from what I see now, like their entire like modus of operation is we're going to run it until you break down, right? Until you are a broken team and you will just accept us running the ball. If you go up against a team like North Carolina who's going to score early on you, that's not going to work. You're going to be too far down for this strategy to work. You have to mix in some interesting concepts in the pass game.
for sure.
Yeah. You have to stretch out the field so you're not getting 9 in the box on your own 2-yard line.
Yeah, that was
For sure. Yeah, like I said earlier, if Izzy can do that every game, we'll be fine. If he can't, we might run into some issues.
Well, let's just get ahead of this. I don't think that he's ever going to score 6 touchdowns in a game, so we should probably figure that out.
Yeah, no, that's the joke. That's it. That's my point. You can't rely on your running back who has already gotten hurt this year to
exactly.
run for.
He was banged up this game. Like if he goes down at any point in this game, we're probably fucked.
Yeah, you can't just be like, oh, okay, he's done. Like, all right, we have literally no options.
All right,
now.
Vincent Davis, we need 6 touchdowns from you, bud.
So, yeah, not sustainable at all, that offense. It was sick for a game. It's cool to talk about, but at the same time, yeah, not sustainable. We got to figure something else out.
Yeah, the records are awesome. Everything like that is awesome, but something has to change here.
For sure.
All right. I think that does it for our game, right?
Yeah.
Anything else? Just better pass plays, because you know how good we are running the ball. You just have to spread out the defense just a little bit.
Keep them honest.
You have to keep them honest.
Keep them honest.
Let Keaton sling it a little bit. I feel like at USC they would just
He
let
was
him
slinging all over
throw
the
it everywhere. And Cignetti, it looks like Keaton's literally like afraid to make a mistake when he's throwing.
I was gonna say he looks afraid. When he's throwing downfield, he looks afraid to be throwing downfield. It just something has changed, especially because early in the year you're just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll throw it downfield.
Exactly.
Like Bub Means and Bub Means could have 2 long touchdowns if he had fucking hands, but now all of a sudden they're not even running that play.
Yeah,
Would be interested to see the stats on his air yards for his passes.
Air yards per attempt.
Yeah, divided by game too, because I'm by game too, because I'm like
in West
literally
Virginia
in West Virginia and Tennessee, it was like we weren't afraid to throw the ball. He looked good. I was honestly like okay, it's like first couple weeks, I was impressed with Keaton the first couple weeks. However, the last 2, it's looked completely different. I don't know if it's like the concussion, like he's just like playing a little more afraid now. I don't know if it's who knows. I don't know, but it's got to.
It just feels like the downfield passing attack was there for West Virginia, parts of Tennessee, and then it's disappeared for weeks. Because even in the Western Michigan game, Yarnell, when he was making those big throws, they were like, yeah, some of those are actually checked it. Like he checked that play at the line. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing here?
Jeez. Rhode Island doesn't count. It does, but it doesn't count in my book in terms of I don't even think about that in terms of how our downfield passing attack looked.
But they didn't work on it, so it looks like garbage.
But yeah, exactly. It was they were just basically they're hiding it in the vault as they're hiding it in the vault. Spoiler: the vault does not exist.
They lost the key. They forgot the combo.
So you can't just go from basically running nothing to still running nothing.
It's not going to work.
Crazy how that doesn't work on offense.
Yeah. Which, speaking of Tennessee game, remember when we took the 6th best team in the country to overtime? That was cool.
They're kicking the shit out of everybody else, and we took them to OT with our backup QB on one leg.
It's almost if you just don't put up with dub again, even if we have an ugly win against Georgia Tech or
a win's a win.
We'll still probably be in the top 20
if you're
especially
if you're one loss team with your one loss being against Tennessee now, and it was Tennessee, when we lost to Tennessee, it was okay, they're a pretty good team, but they're just making everybody else look.
I wouldn't want to play. I wouldn't want to play them.
They're a machine.
I wouldn't want to play them right now.
I don't know how our small corners and stuff even held up. Hooker looks good, dude. Hooker's making better, like, I don't want to say better defense, but just, like, they're making pretty good teams. Like, he's making good defenses look bad.
Yeah.
And we hung with them for
all of
60 minutes plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is what I mean. We're probably gonna be saying it feels like it's a broken.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Because last year's Western Michigan is it's Georgia Tech.
It's like I hate to resort to that, but at the same time, you're like, dude, this team is good. It's so good at times, and just it's like, God, we're so close, but then we also just lose. We just shit the bed in one game. It's so frustrating.
Yeah,
but
that's being a Pitt fan.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's go around the ACC. So, starting off, Louisville 34, Virginia 17. Something is broken in Charlottesville. Louisville went on the road with their backup QB and doubled up Virginia. Brennan Armstrong had 2 picks on the day. Their leading rusher for Virginia had 7 yards on 4 carries. Not good.
Yeah, bad day for the Cavaliers. Bad season for the Cavaliers for being.
I mean, they went up 10-0 and then just died. They just died.
Yeah, I mean, they switched their OC, right? They got the OC left, and right?
The Virginia OC?
Yeah.
When Tony Elliott got hired, he went to Syracuse.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's at Syracuse now. So yeah, it seems like his departure has completely.
I just don't think Tony Elliott's offense is very good, especially if you can't run the ball like Virginia can. Like, he's running an all RPO offense, and they can't run the ball. Oops. Who should have thought about that? But Louisville did look good with their backup quarterback, but it is Virginia, so you kind of got a grade on a sliding scale. Upset alert: Georgia Tech 23, Duke 20 in overtime. Georgia Tech is now 2-0 in conference play. Do I have that right?
Yeah, they're good.
Oh yeah,
It's a good loss.
They're
I mean, you knew Duke was going to come back to earth at some point, but I did not expect it against Georgia Tech. Riley Leonard was 20 for 41 for 136 passing yards. Not good.
Wait, actually, you said Georgia Tech. They lost to Clemson. They lost.
Oh yeah, they're 2-1.
Oh.
So, but I think that puts them first in the Coastal. No, North Carolina's first in the Coastal.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of which, UNC 27, Miami 24. Tyler Van Dyke throws a pick to end this game in the closing seconds. I don't really even think it was that close to begin with. Most of the way through the fourth quarter, it was 27-17.
The DB who picked that off and then throws up the U and flips it down.
So good. So good.
Without, like, literally, as soon as he got up from the ground, that's what he did. He had no hesitation. Love that.
Down is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how it took us this long to come up with that, and I don't really think it's new. But
I don't think it, because I think they were doing it at the 2016 Pitt or 2017 Pitt win.
yeah, you're right. But we need to do that more.
We really do need to.
With the amount of attention Horns Down has gotten, U's Down needs to be more of a thing, especially with this Miami team who's got plenty of reasons to throw those U's Down.
Yeah, you heard it here first. We're bringing it back.
U's Down. We're a pro U's Down podcast.
We're the world's #1 U's Down podcast. All 3 of us right now. You can't see us, so you can't prove it. We're all doing the U's Down right now. We're all doing it right now. And if you're listening to this, throw you down. Throw you down. Tyler Van Dyke had nearly 500 yards of passing in this game, but it did not matter because they only had 19. Their leading rusher had 19 yards. Drake May, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. He looks really good. UNC is probably the big competition in the division at this point. You'd have to think.
That's what it's looking like.
Are they? Did they get any votes in the AP poll this
They
week?
are. They're number 26. They're just outside.
Okay,
the
I
top
figured
25.
they'd probably be right on the fringe there, but them being 5-1.
Yeah, they're looking like the biggest threat in the Coastal right now.
I mean, if you look at the schedule,
Probably the favorite. They're probably the favorite.
Yeah, they honestly probably should be a favorite at this point.
So if you look at their schedule coming up ahead, our game with them is on the 29th. It is in Chapel Hill. They have Duke next week. Then they have a bye. And then we go to play them. So they realistically could be 6-1 and ranked when we go to play them in Chapel Hill. I mean, I think
You said the 29th of October?
29th of October. So it's Halloween
So we
weekend.
don't play them on Thursday.
No, it is on a Saturday. It is crazy.
That is crazy.
Oh shit! I'll be in Raleigh that weekend. I might have to
Hop on over.
Yeah, mosey on over to Chapel Hill.
Give us some on the ground reporting.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's going to be a huge game now. It's coming up in about 3 weeks. Number 5, Clemson takes care of business at Boston College, 31-3. Not a lot to say here. Boston College bad. Wake Forest beats up on Army 45-10. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't the point show that we got a couple years ago, but yeah, Wake Forest. I think they're top 4. They're 14 in the nation right now, right?
Yeah.
And then the nightcap game was Florida State at NC State. NC State escapes Florida State. They're driving late. Devin Leary gets hurt in this game. They put in their backup quarterback, who I believe attempted one pass. Yeah. Their backup quarterback who attempted one pass, did not complete it, but he added 7 carries, 39 yards on the ground. This was lost on a pick thrown in the end zone by Jordan Travis. NC State survives, and it looks like Clemson might just run away with the division again.
Yeah.
So we gotta hope that Syracuse is for real.
Was kind of hoping Boston College might put up a little fight in the red bandana game.
No,
They did not.
No, they laid down and died.
Bandanas were red with blood. What?
I mean, Clemson coming up. They have FSU next weekend. They have Syracuse the weekend after that. There's probably no one else on the schedule who's going to beat them in the ACC.
Dude, crazy that Syracuse jumped that many spots on a bye week. I can't wait for our bye week if we're going to jump fucking 4 spots in the poll like they did.
Well, I think we have to be in the poll to get.
Yeah, I was going to say we're not even in the poll. Did we get any votes this week?
No.
I didn't think so. Probably didn't deserve it, but yeah.
Well, you would think that maybe some like crazy reporter who just saw 6 touchdowns from a running back, like they should be ranked 25th.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the poll as far as the ACC goes, Clemson moved up to 4. Wake Forest is at 14. NC State's at 15. Syracuse is at 18. And then UNC, like I said, is equivalent of 26. And Florida State is somewhere in the receiving vote section as well. By the way, shout out James Madison. 5 games into their FBS life. Ranked number 25.
Good for them, honestly. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I know we talk about the AP poll every week. It really doesn't matter.
No,
When does the college football playoff poll should be coming out here soon?
When do they start doing that?
I don't remember.
What is it? It's week 7 now
week
we're going into.
7.
So I want to say
It might be
soon.
like next Tuesday or Monday.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say I want
probably.
to say it's like week 8, week 9, maybe. I don't know.
Cool. Let's figure our shit out so we can be in that.
That's really the only poll that matters. But at the same time, we're not making that. Desmond Howard, we like it.
Florida, he was our.
That was our boy.
His
My
picks
boy.
are looking worse and worse by the day.
You're my boy.
All right, you want to recap the other games?
Yeah.
Okay, number 4, Michigan escaped Indiana 31-10. This
Close
game,
for a
this
while.
was close,
Close for a
and
while.
then Indiana pooped themselves.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned earlier, number 8 Tennessee 40-13 over LSU in Death Valley. That was a whooping.
Yeah.
That was a whooping. They got whatever they wanted all day. Number 17 TCU unfortunately has killed our beloved Jayhawks 38-31. Kansas actually got hosed on a defensive holding no call in this game, but they should have hit a swing pass 2 downs earlier to get on their first down. So.
Yeah, I don't think you can't blame that loss on the call. I think it was a let him play type of thing.
You can blame it on the call, but also like 2 plays earlier.
Right.
Either way, this was an awesome game to watch, start to finish. It was just
Yeah.
points. Super enjoyable.
Kansas still ranked, so like
They stayed at 19, and TCU jumped up to 12.
Dang.
So Kansas. Hold on, let's talk about this. Texas 49, Oklahoma 0.
That game was atrocious.
Yeah.
I don't think we watched like a second of this game. It was
No.
just
That was the only game I could get in where I was in New Jersey with my streaming options available. So I was watching a good amount of this game, and I was like, you know what? I'll check out Davis Bevel a little bit. He was horrendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
They ran Wildcat. He started out like running, I think, 2 drives and missed a few throws just by a mile. And then they were like, all right, we're just going to run Wildcat every other play. And then it came to like 3rd and long, and they would ask him to make a throw.
How many different quarterbacks did they have? I think they had
like 5.
So
five
on the
different-
box score, they had 5 different players attempt to pass. Davis Bevel was 6 of 12 for 38 yards and a pick, and every other person was they had like receivers and running backs throwing balls. So
They had a tight end a lot.
so my next question is then: is Kansas going to beat Oklahoma next week?
I think they are.
Yeah,
I think they will.
yeah. I mean, is
Well,
Dylan Gabriel like on the?
It's going to be a quarterback thing because
Yeah.
Kansas's quarterback also got hurt.
But their backup looked good.
Their backup did look good.
Jason Bean, great name, Mr. Bean.
But that's going to be that's going to be what we're going to have to watch this week of who's
in,
playing,
who's out. Yeah,
of that will kind of determine that. But they will definitely have a good shot even with their backup quarterback, I think.
absolutely. Oh shit, Kenneth Walker.
Wow.
Wow.
Big moment in the witching hour here.
Buddy, we're being wit. The Jets scored again? Huh?
Are the Jets good? Embrace debate.
I don't think so.
Kenneth Walker, 69-yard touchdown. Nice.
I don't know. I guess they held Tua and Tyreek Tyreek and Waddle to 17 points.
Let's go. Browns lose.
The other game I want to cover in the other slate: Mississippi State 40, Arkansas 17. Mississippi State, good, looking pretty good. They're 5-1. Will Rogers is putting on a masterclass. He had 3 touchdowns in that game, and they've got Alabama. They could go to Alabama in 3 weeks. They have a week off in between. Or do they? No, they don't have the bye week. Okay, never mind. But that might be an interesting game to look out for because we'll get to the Alabama game later. We watched this one side by side with the Pitt game. Number 18 UCLA beats number 11 Utah 42-32.
They were pretty dominant too.
They really just, even though they did score a lot of points, 32 points is a lot to give up. Just what happened there? Oh, back to very school.
Yeah.
I mean, DTR had 4 touchdowns in that game. Zach Charbonnet had 200 yards on the ground. Like, this was a beating of the Utah defense, and that offense, even though it scored a lot, it honestly, it didn't look great. They were getting bottled up consistently.
Yeah.
So UCLA might be we're gonna have to ride UCLA for them to beat USC. That's
Yep. They're our one hope, and I would like to issue a formal apology to the fans of UCLA because they actually did show out a little bit for the game. It was pretty full.
They tarped off some sections, but
They did, but they filled up the ones that were open, and that was better than I thought it was going to be. So, formal apology.
You know what? From one blue and gold team to another blue and gold team, we're shaking your hands. We're giving you a pat on the back. We're brothers in arms against USC in our quest to kill Lincoln Riley.
Rashad Weaver almost got that sack.
Oh, yeah, little Pitt guy. Shit, I'm going through all the games. All the other games suck.
I mean, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State was okay.
Yeah, Texas goes up for a little bit, but
Oklahoma State's still probably the best team in that conference.
It's kind of come down to them, Kansas State, and TCU. I would think.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced on Kansas State yet. But
Yeah,
they could be there. I'm not going to rule them out. I'm just not going to rule them in.
Yeah. I mean, they're still undefeated in conference play. I do want to talk about this game though. Alabama 24, Texas A&M 20. Jimbo, what the fuck, man? What was that play call?
That last play was so bad.
That was awful, dude.
They tried to run a little tombstone thing, maybe trying to catch him off guard, just quick, literally just basically run into the corner, cut straight back to the pylon, and did not work at all.
No, that was one of the worst play calls I've ever seen.
I never root for Texas A&M, but when it's Alabama, you just love the chaos. Yeah. And I was like, dude, this could happen. And then Jimbo, and
it really. I was listening to someone break it. I actually saw a video of Saban breaking it down. He's like, yeah, they ran this play earlier in the game, so we knew how to defend it.
It's just crazy that you look down your play sheet and that's the best thing you got.
Yeah, that was so bad, dude. I mean, and then. Haynes King looked better than I thought he was. I mean, 25 completions for 253 is not great. Devin A. Shane couldn't get anything on the ground, really, but to hold Alabama to 24 is pretty good. Their backup, this is like a 2009 Alabama stat line, 12 for 19, 111 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs had 21 carries. Is there any timeline on Bryce Young's return? Because Alabama, their next couple games are a couple of
some good ones.
They go to Tennessee, number 6 Tennessee, and they get number 16 Mississippi State at home. If Bryce Young isn't back for Tennessee, they might lose that game.
Yeah, no, Tennessee's looked really good, as we mentioned earlier, and if Bryce Young's out, I would love that.
Love for Tennessee to beat Alabama. That would be awesome.
Even if Bryce Young's back, I would love for Tennessee to beat Alabama. But because I'm worried if Bryce Young's out and Tennessee beats Alabama, then the voters are still just going to basically disregard that loss and be like, oh, well, Bryce Young was out. So, like, it doesn't matter later in the season.
Yeah, top 10
doesn't matter
team.
Weeks later. Yeah, they'll just hang around and then, like, they'll just still make it.
The only other issue is that they're on the opposite sides of the division, so Tennessee then has to go beat Georgia, too, if they want to get to the SEC championship.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I think that game is in Georgia, too. I don't think it's at home for Tennessee.
Yeah, dude, that's tough.
Yeah, it's at Georgia. So.
That is tough.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Jimbo, we hate you. You should have called a better play. That was awful. You had 4 seconds left to make history, and you crapped your pants on national TV, as we're accustomed to at this point. So, yeah. Good one on you.
Staying in the ACC as well, South Carolina upsetting Kentucky was
the ACC.
Did I say ACC? We were talking about SEC. I obviously meant SEC. Too many acronyms.
Levis didn't play though, right?
Yeah. He was out, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm contradicting myself because I was just saying about like Bryce Young being out and like whatever not counting, and then I said, well, Levis was out, but
I don't know if Levis is even that good.
But also, yeah, Levis is like, yeah, he's decent, obviously.
There's a lot of shaking up in the teams this week because Kentucky lost, BYU lost to Notre Dame, who might be back, and then NC State. They dropped spots even.
1 point. Them and Wake Forest flipped.
Yeah. So
I don't know. It was a good weekend. Good weekend to watch college football, and we're going into the bye.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got a lot of teams to the bye this week. There's not a lot of ACC games this week actually.
Yeah, so we're gonna be. So speaking of bye, this podcast is going on a bye due to a personal member of the. I'm going to be out of the country, and I'm not going to be recording the podcast from my hotel room.
Zack is the unnamed person.
I'm the unnamed person going on vacation.
We're trying to figure out who did this.
We're all looking for the guy who did this. His name is Zack.
There's a certain 3-letter agency that's sending me overseas to do some democracy work and voter fraud in third world countries. Okay? It happens to the best of us. That's how we get the funding for this podcast.
Some podcasters go on vacation. We go to make sure we have good national security.
Listen, we can't have strong national security with other countries having strong national security. So, I'm sort of like a saboteur. Carson Wentz. He just got picked. Anyway, I'm getting back to the podcast. We're going to do a little double feature. So we're going to put some intro music here, or some transition music here. We're going to do the previews of the bye week real quick. So if you want to, save a little bit for later in the week, you might want to pause the podcast, give yourself a couple days. But yeah, we'll see you on the other side of the music.
Here is Abanikanda bringing the pads again, and Pitt scores. Here's a give. Abanikanda trying to fight left side. It breaks free. Now a Stack touchdown. I've heard a leg drive, but come on. second period. Abanikanda fires through and scores. Second down. Izzy left side. Touchdown, Pitt.
Feels like this offensive line is starting to wear down Virginia Tech on defense.
And he gets the rock here. To the corner. Touchdown.
Scoring 5 touchdowns. Left side of that offensive line gives him the edge.
And here's Abanikanda breaking through. It might be a foot race to the river.
Blocking up front's fantastic. Ryan, Jacoby, Carter, Johnson, Daniel Carter, and then once this happened, if I'm even, I'm leaving, Wes. There was never a doubt who was going to win that one. Izzy Abanikanda.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. I hope you liked our little transition. We worked hard on it. And now, as we promised, we're going to be previewing college football week 7. All right. We're getting closer, like Ken said, to the first college football playoff ranking coming out. So
Yeah.
Is that next? Is it?
I don't know. Let's figure it out.
Okay, you vamp for a little bit. So, but Pitt is on a bye next week, so we're really just going to be taking you around the schedule, around the rest of the landscape, seeing what big matches we've got going on, and we're going to start in the ACC. So week 7 opens. These are all Saturday games, by the way. There are only 4 ACC games. At 12:30 on ESPN3, Miami goes to Virginia Tech. I don't really know who's going to win this game. I think these are both teams that, even to their own relative expectations, have sort of underperformed. I think it'd be funny if Miami lost. It'd kind of almost certainly take them out of the division crown for the Coastal. So I think that's the best thing we can hope for out of this game. But realistically, I think that Miami does take care of business on the road. But
I think this is a great wouldn't it be funny game for Miami.
You want to lock it in?
I think I'm going to lock in the wouldn't it be funny if Miami lost this week.
There we go. Right off the bat.
Right, yeah, no, usually we kind of wait and they
and it comes to us.
Yeah, but that one was definitely would be all-time funny.
Following up, losing to A&M, MTSU, and then losing to UNC, even though your quarterback threw 500.
Yeah,
it'd be nice.
I believe that we get the first rankings November 1st, so we do have a couple of weeks.
Okay, so we're a couple weeks out. Then.
Yeah, but still something to keep an eye on here. Get us a couple more wins under our belt by then.
So I think there are 2 games that will affect us for the rankings, sort of indirectly though. So the first of those is number 15 NC State at number 18 Syracuse. That's 3:30 on ACC Network on Saturday. Syracuse is the 5-point home favorite. I think this line right now has Devin Leary being out baked in.
Yeah,
because obviously they could not throw the ball with their backup quarterback this weekend. So one has to think, if he's still out, Syracuse does have a pretty good run defense. That's sort of the strength of the. They do. From what I think I remember, they do. But they have an even better pass defense, so it might be that Syracuse does go to 6-0 before going to Clemson next week.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, right?
That is, yeah.
And that gives Pitt a ranked Syracuse team. I think that follows up the Clemson game for the Orange. I don't know, man. Sean Tucker in ACC play or against Power 5 opponents hasn't looked as good. I mean, obviously he looked amazing against Wagner, but they did cut the time of that game down.
Could definitely. I mean, what is the status with blanket on NC State's quarterback's name? You just said it. And
Devin Leary.
Devin Leary. What?
I don't think we know. I mean, we're recording this on Sunday. Mm-hmm. It may change. I think if Devin Leary is playing in this game, it's much more compelling. He's got 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns on the year. Garrett Schrader has been really good this season relative to what we had expectations for him. And I think that this is a really compelling matchup if Leary comes back. If not, I think Syracuse might handle him pretty easily. Based
off what it looked like with him being out last week, I think they probably will.
Yeah.
Wow, 6-0 Syracuse.
I wonder when the last time that happened was. The 50s? Maybe. I did lie though. Syracuse has Notre Dame and Clemson after this, so they might be unranked.
Yeah.
But they could be. The other game I think that has meaning for Pitt is North Carolina at Duke at 8:00 on ACC Network. I think if North Carolina moves to 6-1, I mean, they are the number 26 team in the poll, right? That's what we said earlier. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that if they just win again, that they will be in the top 25, and I think Pitt does need a couple of top 25 wins for itself to even think about getting back into the top 25.
Right.
Just knowing how these voters work.
Mm-hmm.
I think UNC should handle business against Duke. And then Clemson goes to Florida State. That's number 4 Clemson, 7:30 on ABC. Hopefully Florida State can do it. I am not sure because they can only put up...
It's kind of like the last ditch effort here.
It's them and Syracuse. It's really them and Syracuse, and that's it.
Yeah. And I don't think Syracuse can get it done. So it's going to come.
They
down
don't have the quarterback
Travis.
to do it. I really think it is Travis.
Yep. Yeah, because wow. So yeah, Clemson's kind of in
really good shape.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate.
It is.
So that's the ACC. If I had to make picks, I think I would go, knowing what we know on Sunday. I'll go Virginia Tech because I think the funniest outcome should always happen. I'll take Syracuse. I'll take UNC, and just to hope against hope, I will be taking Florida State if I had to pick those 4.
Yeah. So those are the only four ACC games this week.
Yeah, everyone else is on a bye.
Okay.
Would you pick any different? I mean, my heart is saying Florida State, but my brain does say Clemson in that game.
What is the line? If we're picking...
The line, I think, is 4 in that game right now, I want to say.
Yeah, and... Yeah, in my head, taking Clemson. UNC will handle business at Duke. I think Virginia Tech has a pretty good shot to... They're going to cover... I think they're going to cover that.
What's that line, 9 something?
It's 7.5.
I think you can get some good movement throughout the week on that line.
But if we see the Virginia Tech that we saw this past week against Pitt, against Miami, I think that'll actually make for a compelling matchup.
Absolutely.
And then, it's tough to pick the NC State game, but without Leary, I'll take
Sunday night.
Actually, I'll probably take, if we're picking against the line, I'll probably take NC State in that game.
+6.
Yeah,
that does. Let me see the lines again. Actually, let me see if they got posted yet on FanDuel. They usually take a couple of days. Yeah, so I would take Virginia Tech +7.5. I do like that. Clemson Florida State is 4.5. If I were to bet it, I would take Clemson cover and then hedge with a Florida State money line.
Don't hate
because
that.
I think those are the only two options. Is either a Clemson cover. I think UNC -6.5 is very favorable for UNC. They don't have NC State posted, so
they're probably waiting for that information about
absolutely
Leary as well.
Yeah. All right, you want to talk about the rest of the weekend? Now that we've gotten the enemies out of the way, the scouting report is done.
We get some Wednesday football this week. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday games, which is, I think, the first time we've got that. Because there was a Wednesday game this week.
We did get a Wednesday game this week. That was very weird.
Yeah. But didn't have Thursday games this week.
No, we did not have Thursday games, right.
First week of... We only have to go 4 days without college football, and then we're right back at it.
we're really needing another hit. I mean, to be honest,
none of those games are good though.
Yeah, so Wednesday's Louisiana at Marshall, 7:30 on ESPN2. Louisiana has been very disappointing this year after winning the Sun Belt last year and losing Billy Napier to Florida. Marshall, after beating Notre Dame, has kind of stunk it up, but it's Wednesday Night Football, and
it'll be good to throw on, in the background when you're watching some playoff baseball or something else, if you got a team that's still in there.
Yep. Let's go Yankees, by the way.
Red October, fighting Phils, baby.
Please don't cause another world financial recession.
It's like 2008, baby.
Feels like 08.
You got everybody, if you have a mortgage, that shit's bubble's about to burst. Hate to break it to you. The Phillies are in the playoffs.
No, it's only if they win the World Series, not well.
True.
So everyone, please, for the health of many people, just make sure the Phillies don't win. Not to be mean to you, but we can't be having that happen.
I'll take a recession for a Phillies World Series any day.
I would do some mean things for a Jets Super Bowl, so I get it. All right. Thursday, you have Temple at UCF. Boo. Bad game. But Baylor at West Virginia at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. Could be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. West Virginia got smoked by Texas last
time.
Baylor
as only a 3.5 point favorite.
I think they kind of soured on Baylor just because, they do have a couple losses. They are to some decent teams. BYU, the shine's come off them, but they only losses to an undefeated Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
I would probably pick Baylor just because, West Virginia, even though they look pretty good early, has not looked as good since. Obviously losing to Kansas, losing to Texas by 18. I think I like Baylor here.
Would be a win for them to get back into that category of
upper tier Big 12 team.
Right.
I think Baylor does have to win this one to keep itself in the Big 10.
Oh, absolutely.
Big 12 title race. Because this is going to come down to either two one-loss teams or an undefeated team and a one-loss team.
Yeah.
There's no way that. Obviously, Oklahoma's taking itself out, but who are the only undefeateds left? TCU and Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
So, how should they play this week?
There's only going to be one undefeated team left in the
Big 12, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Friday night, they are actually bad games. You have Navy at SMU and UTSA at FIU. UTSA is a 33-point road favorite. That's all you got to know about FIU.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to Saturday. So for what seems like the fourth or fifth week in a row, Michigan is in the big noon slot. Number 10 Penn State goes to number 5 Michigan. Michigan is a 7-point favorite at home.
This is the best game of the week by far.
I think there's some bangers in the 3:30, but this is top 3.
Yeah.
So
all right, well, we can discuss after we talk about the other ones. Let's talk about
this one.
Game. Yeah.
So I do think that Michigan will end up winning. There's either two options: either they blow it horrifically or they win. Because we were watching the Indiana game on Saturday, and someone said this. This is a friend of the pod, Ryan Donnelly, said. Yeah, J.J. McCarthy does not throw with anticipation at all. If you see him throw, he is throwing to where his receiver is with no idea of where his receiver is going to be. And you're not going to fix that in a week. Blake Corum is an all-world running back. He's him and Izzy are two of the best running backs in the nation. But
yeah, and they've been Saw it against Indiana. Saw it a couple other subpar teams hang around with them.
Maryland,
this year.
they didn't score. They didn't score a lot in Iowa. They were never in that game, but they definitely let Indiana hang around way too long.
Yeah.
Same with Maryland. I mean, they're gonna have to put on their big boy pants for this one.
Absolutely.
I think
Penn State's a team that if you let them hang around,
they will punish you.
Yeah.
They let them hang around this game last year too on the road. I just don't think that Sean Clifford is going to have a good time against that defense. I really don't.
Penn State, to be fair, hasn't seen anything like Michigan yet, so
will
be a little bit of a shock for them as well. Or not a shock, but just like a different animal.
It's a wake up call for Penn State because the best team they've beaten to this point is Purdue. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Purdue has looked better. They lost in the final moments. It was a pretty good win, but Ohio, Auburn, Central Michigan, Northwestern, they don't exactly move the needle on Penn State for me. So this is actually both teams' probably first big test. I mean, Michigan hasn't looked great in the Big Ten, but they have won. They're 6-0.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Yeah, don't apologize for winning.
Exactly. Would love a nice.
I'd like Penn State to take a step down the polls.
Yeah, because they've been moving up. They moved up for, like we said every time, for beating that shitty Auburn team. Didn't they move up 4 spots when they just didn't play a game as well?
No, that was.
Or am I thinking
that was
something
Syracuse
different?
this week.
Did Penn State have their bye already? They did. I think
they did. Yeah.
I think they moved up a good amount in front of us.
Ahead of them moved. Yeah.
So again, it's one of those things where they haven't really proved it yet. So let's get a nice good ass whooping on him to bring him back down to earth.
I think it's a maze out. It's the maze out at the big house. Here's my take on that. I don't mind that you're doing an all yellow thing. Don't call it a maze out. A out should be black or white. Nothing else. We don't call it a royal out. We call it rock the royal. Don't do a maze out.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
it's a black out or a white out.
Yeah,
that's it. That's my strong take on uniform outs.
We know our way around a blackout here.
Are we about to lose power here? Should I stop?
No, so we drink a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was a binge drinking joke.
That was a joke about doing things that are bad for you.
Other games in the noon slot. Auburn, Ole Miss hasn't really moved the needle for me.
No.
Ole Miss should handle stuff there, but we do get Kansas and Oklahoma, possibly an under 500 Oklahoma team, even though they're favored in this game.
I don't know why they're favored, unless Dylan Gabriel is back. But even so, Kansas is going to score at will. TCU moved the ball like Oklahoma couldn't stop a wet fart against TCU or Texas. So there's I mean, this is my money line lock of the week is Kansas.
I don't hate it. Get it. I feel like get it now. Wow.
Well, you can have pretty good odds on it.
Yeah, because I think that
the line will start moving once people realize how much Kansas is an underdog by right now. They're sitting at 6.5 right now. I mean, come to think of it, when do you think there's ever been a time where a ranked Kansas has played an unranked Oklahoma?
There has to be some weird point in history during World War II.
Maybe.
Yeah, just one of those weird things where it happened. But yeah, you could probably count on your hand the amount of times that this has happened in the history of college football.
Yeah, I'm taking Kansas, man. Even their backup looked good, and if Dylan Gabriel's still out, Davis Bevell doesn't look good, to say the least. He looks like a Peach Bowl.
Peach Bowl king.
Peach Bowl Bevis.
Bevis. Bevis and Butthead. Yeah. Dude can't spin it. Dude can't spin it.
I'm an Oklahoma Sooner. Okay. Nothing else in this lot really. Oh, we have the Bum Bowl. Buffalo goes to UMass.
Oh, okay.
Just putting that out there. The Bum Bowl.
Cool.
Good old ESPN 3.
I'm surprised that's on the ESPN Plus game, to be honest.
Yeah,
that seems like...
Hide that. Bury that thing.
Yep.
Put it in the vault and forget the combo. But then we get to the 3:30 slot, and you're right. There are some other good games here.
We already talked about NC State Syracuse, but number 3 Alabama goes to number 6 Tennessee. Alabama's a 7.5-point road favorite, and I think Tennessee's going to win. I think they're going to win.
Is Bryce Young going to be back for this game?
Do you think? I mean, Pat Narduzzi doesn't give. I think if Bryce Young if there was rumors about him being back, the line might be bigger.
Which I don't know is crazy. That's crazy to me that with the way Tennessee's looked the past couple weeks, the way Alabama looked against A&M, and like they're in Knoxville, you know they're going to get up for this game.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be one of the cooler atmospheres of the weekend for
Absolutely,
sure.
man. I mean, Knoxville got rowdy for us. I mean, think about this. This is probably their legitimate best chance to beat Alabama in years.
Yeah.
And
yeah, because they're probably going to have a little bit of a reset after this year, graduating heading Hooker.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, they're going to be all in.
This is the time to do it. I mean, they were playing with them through a half last year, so you got to think they learned some things. They're running the offense at such a high level, and I mean,
track meet. It's going to be a track meet game.
If Bryce Young is back, it's definitely a track meet. And I think
Right.
Their backup can't really throw as well as Bryce Young, but he is a track star. He can run that ball fast.
He can tote the rock.
He's got a little zip. He's got a little zip in his step. Yeah, but I guess if Bryce Young is out, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see this line move under like a field goal, which would be insane to say. Like, because we're talking so much about Tennessee and how they might win, they're gonna poop their pants terribly.
Yeah,
but let's hope they don't. I think they can do it.
That's like it's a week away from now. Right now, we're the smartest guys on earth. So
yeah.
everything we could figure out that I don't know. That, like a lot can happen in a week. Let's just
listen. It doesn't matter.
As of right now, I'm guaranteeing Tennessee to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Lock it in.
I mean, listen. It doesn't matter how many times we're wrong. We're gonna keep giving you the worst takes on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a simplified promise, okay? Okay? You're going to come back, and we're going to give you another dumb take. You might bet on it.
We're the Kobe of takes where, last thing you want to see is a guy go 0 for 5. You'd rather see him go 0 for 24 because that means the confidence never stopped.
I mean,
he kept shooting.
And
if we're keep shooting.
If we're 0 for 24, you just start fading us.
Yeah.
You start making money.
Yeah. It's actually just as impressive to go 0 for 24 in picks than it is 24-0 if you think about it.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Other game, like we said before, Oklahoma State at TCU. TCU, number 13, Oklahoma State, number 8. TCU is a 3.5-point home favorite. This is a banger.
Yeah, so usually you get like 3-ish points for the home team, right?
Yeah.
So you're basically saying these teams are about equal right now. So this should be a pretty good game, and I think whoever wins this is definitely in the driver's seat to win the Big 12.
Absolutely, and I mean if you look at it, like offensively, like Spencer Sanders and Max Duggan have very similar stats. Spencer Sanders has about 100 more passing yards on more attempts. They have about the same run game, but like these teams are really good. They're actually both averaging 46.4 points per game. Both are letting up about 24 points per game. So
it's pretty even matchup.
Teams is the same.
Yeah.
I think Oklahoma State probably has a little bit of a better defense. Or they definitely have a better defense, and I think that TCU, they really didn't have a lot of answers for Kansas. They did get a little lucky at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But I think Oklahoma State wins this one. I think they'll be in the driver's seat. And then at that point, you're looking at that's probably the Big 12's best. I mean, whoever wins this game is the Big 12's best chance to get to the college football playoff. But
yep.
I would like to, honestly though, I'd like to see Oklahoma State win the Big 12 just because Gundy has one Big 12 title, but that was when they didn't have the championship game. They took it away for a couple of years and they brought it back after TCU and Baylor got jumped over in the polls.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice. I'm rooting for Oklahoma State. I like them. I like their colors. I like their uniforms.
The unis they were rocking this past weekend were pretty cool. I think the all black helmets.
They looked. I mean, last year when they did the all black in Bedlam at night, that was one of the best uniform ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. It should be a banger game. It's exciting to me. Should see, if nothing else, a lot of points, just like TCU Kansas last week.
Yeah, and I don't know. That basically does it for me for the afternoon 3:30 slot.
Yeah,
not a whole lot else going on.
You have BYU Arkansas, which is probably
disappointing team game of the week.
Yeah,
they were both pretty.
This is the loser bowl.
Yeah.
This is you have wronged us by being bad when we wanted you to be good. So, boo.
Mm-hmm.
May a plague fall upon your program. Not actually, but metaphorically. Maybe it already has. Oh, we have a. This is not a good game, but I just noticed this. Wisconsin goes to Michigan State.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's on toilet bowl watch.
Yeah.
That's on toilet bowl watch. Just putting that one out there. But yeah, let's move to the night slate. We talked about Clemson, Florida State.
Mm-hmm. Also have Mississippi State and Kentucky.
Mississippi State's gonna crush Kentucky. I think.
Think so?
Yeah.
Given that Will Levis.
If Levis is still out, for sure. Even if he's in, he's gonna throw like 2 bad picks and have a fumble. So I don't know.
Mississippi State quietly going up the rankings here a little bit.
Yeah, they're number 16, 5-1, dude.
Yeah.
Their passing attack is lethal.
Mike Leach had a really funny interview this past week with what is the guy's name? One of the guys that'll do interviews and stuff for the College Game Day interviewed Mike Leach, and it was like an early game because I think they were playing at 11. The game was on at 12, but I think they were playing at 11.
11 local. They played local, yeah.
So he was asking him about his coffee, and Mike Leach was like, "No, I hate coffee." He was like, "I just try to get it down one sip at a time." He's like, "I don't put anything in it. I just drink it for the feeling." And I was like,
he's such a weirdo.
I know.
He did have like a really weird. He had a weird quote with like I think it was the Athletic where he's like, "Yeah, if we have NIL, we should be able to sign and cut players." I'm like, "No, this is college." Mike Leach.
Mike Leach wants to be a GM. He doesn't want to be a head coach.
Go to the NFL then. Yeah. Go to the NFL. It's Mike Leach is the thing with Mike Leach is like he always is like 2 seconds away from just dropping the worst take of all time. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised it took him this long, Mississippi State, to like have a take like that surface.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I think they're gonna win. I also like their uniforms a lot. I like the maroon. Maroon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maroon. Okay. So that is what channel is that game on? That is 7:30 on SEC Network. However, I think the big game in the evening slot for me is number 7 USC goes to number 20 Utah.
And the hype train.
And the USC hype train. Obviously, Utah has a little bit of luster taken off them with 2 losses, but someone's got to beat USC, and Utah is one of the teams that should be able to do it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I think Utah is a home favorite, so I think Vegas sort of agrees on us that Utah might just do the thing where they drop 8 and try and make Caleb Williams beat them. Mm-hmm. And they'll just try and run it out of the ground. I think they can do this. This is on Fox. It's not being hidden on Pac-12 Network. Hopefully the entire nation can see USC be vanquished once and for all.
Yep. That would be ideal.
That would be... Wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't it be lovely?
The wouldn't it be lovely of the week?
You know the bit in The Simpsons where the guy goes, "Can you imagine a world without lawyers?" As a bunch of people just holding hands like frolicking. Yeah. Can you imagine a world where USC isn't undefeated?
Yeah,
we're having a great time. The only one game I want to shout out was Washington State goes to Oregon State, 9:00 on Pac-12 Network. Oh, I won't be able to watch this then, but these are 2 fun teams, and if you get Pac-12 Network, I recommend you go find it.
All our West Coast listeners out there.
No West Coast listeners. Are exactly like 3 West Coast listeners.
All our Stream East listeners. You can find it there when you don't have Pac-12 Network.
Yeah. Anything else? I don't think there's.
No, no. They couple good games in each time slot, but relatively.
I think there are a lot of buys this week. I think that's what's going on.
Yeah, well, it's getting to that point in the season where everybody's 5 to 6 games in. I'm kind of ready for a break from Pitt football, given the last couple of weeks for us. I don't hate where the bye week fell.
Listen, the team is resting and recovering, and we are resting and recovering from watching Pitt football.
Yeah,
we're getting our heart rate down. We're using less swear words on Saturdays. We're patching the holes in the drywall that we put in several people's houses.
Yeah.
Who among us hasn't done that?
I might go for a walk this Saturday.
I can't recommend it enough.
Nah.
You japed me. You got me good. Here I was thinking you might go out for a walk.
There's still college football on. There's games to watch. It might not be Pitt, but sometimes it's a good thing.
Hopefully I can find somewhere to watch it overseas. I'll look into it. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
Okay, and that it? Anything else? Wouldn't it be funny game of the week? Official.
We'll have to get Kent is currently at the Sunday night football game, Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, but we'll get his Christmas pick of the week in for this week. And what did he end up calling it?
Was it Cole and Presents? Was it the post game awards, the Cole and Presents of the week?
Something like that. We should have done that.
Oh, we forgot.
We'll get some more insight.
Okay, we promise next time we will have the Cole and Presents awards of the week. So, like we said, this is a double episode. Our next episode will be
a recap
and a preview. So recap week 7. It'll come later in the week. We'll do a week 8 preview, our Louisville preview. Those episodes will come out at the same time. We might have to go pretty quick on the week 7 recap. We'll probably do it later in the week. So our next episode will come out. We could even
do another joint episode where we do.
I think that should be the plan. Yeah.
Don't hate that. So it'll be a while until we get our next episode out here. So make this one last. Practice a little bit of self-control.
And we're saying this at the end of the episode. Yeah. So listen, if you got to the end of the episode and you're like, "Oh crap, I need more," just forget.
If you're listening to this, we're in DEFCON 5.
Hey, whoa!
Pull a Utah and put the keys in the nuclear turntable. Just hit the button.
Listen, Texas A&M's got 2 reactors. They can live without one. Yeah, so you should probably be hitting your podcast feed on the 20th, more or less. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in to our double episode. This has been another episode of Simplify Pod. Follow us on Twitter at Simplify Pod. Give us a good rating if you like it. 5-star the show. Tell a friend, tell a family worker, tell a coworker, tell a classmate. I don't know if we have anyone still in school, but yeah, sure. Tell a classmate.
Your professor. Tell your professor.
Tell your professor. Tell your Tinder match. Tell your Hinge matches. Tell your Grindr matches. We don't care. Tell them about the pod. Love wins, and we're trying to hitch our wagon to that. A couple years too late. You can follow me, your host, at I'm Real Angry on Twitter. You can follow Mason at Clayson_Ming. You can follow our missing co-host who's being currently kidnapped by the Ravens and Lamar Jackson to get his heart broken on national TV again. That is Kent_VW. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Hail to Pitt and
Exit Sandman.
Yeah.
Yeah.